Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and this morning we've got an interesting job coming up. We've got a Prius battery, so it's sitting back here in that case. And we've got a Prius with the battery light on, the little, triangle indicator for their battery. There's a little bit of a diagnosing procedure to figure out why that light's on. In fact, I have the troubleshooting guide here. But regardless, we've got to replace that. I may take a picture of this and put it on there for anybody who's interested in doing it themselves. This isn't going to be a how-to video, so follow the video at your own risk. But you're more than welcome to see how I do it. And yeah, I'll put a picture of that troubleshooting guide up if you're trying to do it yourself. We'll replace this battery. It's just pretty close by, about 10 minutes away, and hopefully we'll have it done in about 45 minutes. So I'm not going to rush anything super fast. It may take an hour. I don't want to break, all the little plastic clips, but I do have replacement clips. But again, I'm just going to be careful and remove everything how it should be done. So we'll get up there. We'll get this Prius battery replaced. It's an expensive battery. The core charge is like $1,000 alone on this. So it'll be nice to get off my back and get returned. And anyways, here we go. Oh, also there's merchandise down below. Check it out. I'll be ordering some myself. I've just got a few different logos coming up now. So there's probably one logo right now. If you're watching this video in a few weeks after it's come out, then there's going to be a few more probably. So here we go. All right, here we go. Here's the battery in this case. Here's the Prius with the bad battery. Special thanks to the channel members. There are co-pilots here. This is the passenger seats. I put them on this door to be kind of co-pilots. And we will get this battery out and the new one in. The main goal, obviously, to do the job, my focus is to get the batteries disconnected first and reconnected last. So the connections are hidden behind some plastic, so the main goal at the beginning is to get everything out of the way enough to disconnect the batteries and then go from there. So that's my main focus. My main idea in mind while I'm working this morning is do everything to get those batteries disconnected first and reconnected last, or at the last possible moment, just for safety's sake. So this is a pretty intense little battery. I've got some super thick rubber gloves I'll be using. In fact, I may double layer them, and if we get them disconnected, then there's not much of a risk. So that's the goal. Here we are, roadside rescue. Here's the Prius with the dead battery. Here's the new battery. I'll give you the first look at it. And we'll get this replaced. All right, here's that troubleshooting guide. If anybody is trying to do this themselves and diagnose it, we'll just go down the list quickly. Check 12-volt battery, check battery breaker switch, check connections and ground, clear trouble codes, check coating chip installation, check cooling fan operation, and then there's a tech line that you can call. This is a Dorman battery. I don't know if you can just call them if you haven't bought a Dorman battery, but maybe you can. Maybe they're nice enough to give you some pointers. If not, then I apologize, Dorman, but maybe the little bit of advertisement for using your battery will help out with that. Okay, first things first, we've got a bunch of 10mm bolts or fasteners, a couple different styles, and we have a lot of plastic clips. So we'll get our plastic clip remover, which I know for a fact is buried down here somewhere. All right, so first things first, there's gonna be a ton of plastic clips and a few fasteners, mostly 10mm. So I've got this medium depth 10mm socket, and there's so many fasteners that luckily I have some of these bolster mats to organize those fasteners as they come out. If not, you may wanna get a piece of cardboard if you haven't done this before. Don't throw everything in a bin, you'll get stuff mixed up. It's a little stressful, so luckily I've got two of these. I think I'll need both. This, I think, is the only one they have out right now. There's a link in the description. If you buy one and use the code RoadRescue10, then you help support the channel. And I think they'll be coming out with new designs later. So one might be bigger. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to them about that. But anyways, here we go. And we'll be using these for sure. I'll probably leave them right here. And these are like, basically, if you don't know what they are, they're kind of like cardboard. How people stick them in to, you know, line stuff up or like remember the shape or position of all the bolts. This is the same thing, only made out of silicone, so it's reusable and super strong. Here we go. Clean hands for this step. If they do get dirty, we'll replace our gloves before we put everything back together. But enough talking, let's do it. The grass is probably the cleanest place. The floor of the truck's not that clean, so I'm just gonna stick stuff in the grass. Nice. Hey, these people are prepared. This is a nice little tool setup back here. The only thing I would recommend sometimes, is especially if you like travel around and you're by yourself a lot, is to get a jumper pack. I have one in the description down below I've been using and I really like, but you don't have to get that one. But a jumper pack will help you out when there's nobody else around that can jump your vehicle off. So here's the 12-volt battery. Actually, we can go ahead and disconnect this now. All we have to do is remove this white connector here. Nice. Hey, these people are prepared. This is a nice little tool setup back here. The only thing I would recommend sometimes, is especially if you like travel around and you're by yourself a lot, is to get a jumper pack. I have one in the description down below I've been using and I really like, but you don't have to get that one. But a jumper pack will help you out when there's nobody else around that can jump your vehicle off. So here's the 12-volt battery. Actually, we can go ahead and disconnect this now. All we have to do is remove this white connector here and it'll disable the battery. Let's see if I can pull it out. Well, I'll get this pan out first. There we go. Yeah. Okay, now I'll have more room to stick my grubby little fingers back there and get this out. Probably. There it goes. Okay. That disables the battery there. We're fine now. And we'll leave that spare tire there. We are going to have to remove all this stuff as well. Okay, if this doesn't come up, sometimes you need to loosen it. Don't yank super hard, but that came up fine. And now we will go ahead and start loosening up the fasteners here. So a couple 10 millimeters, 10 millimeter, yeah, some plastic stuff. We'll work our way around. Okay, here we are. We've got the GoPro up here recording, and we will start removing some plastic clips and fasteners. Okay, now that we've got to this point, I'm going to disconnect the big battery. Okay, there's the safety for the big battery. We'll put this in a safe place till we're done, now that we're going to be touching the top of this battery here. Okay, so we've got the seats pulled forward. Now we're going to remove these here, and we'll start with the plastic pieces at the front. Well, we'll start at the back here since we're here, these two, and then the plastic pieces in the front got to go up and out. Okay, there's one. There's the other. And now we're down to this battery. So we will remove this fan thing here, or tube. And it goes in and out, like that, and out. And then I'm going to look at this fan and see if it needs to be cleaned. Just a good idea to do. Make sure that it's getting a nice good airflow in there. That's actually pretty clean. It does have a filter here, so yeah, that's good. We'll go ahead now and disconnect these battery brackets, and then I'm going to check. I believe the new battery has this whole case on it, so I'm going to check that and see what exactly I need to remove. But I believe just this whole case comes out, and we'll just have to remove a few things on the side here. So alright, so here we are here. I'm going to undo these bolts and take this bracket off this side. Okay, here's this other bolt I was looking for. All right, so we've got everything, all these metal pieces, well, just this one that I've taken off on the new battery. So we just have to remove it to take off those power cables, and then we'll take this battery loose and pull it out. We've got the cooling line left to take off and a connector over here, 3 of them to be exact. So then the new battery's got everything it needs, including the metal, and it's bright orange, which is cool, but not like anybody ever sees that. Alright, we've got everything disconnected from the battery. We've just got to loosen up these mounting bolts and pull it out. And then I'm doing it by myself, so I'm just going to take my time and be real careful picking it up. It's pretty heavy. Okay, and for the sake of everybody who needs to see things torqued down, I do just tighten them down loosely with that gun, and then I come back by hand and tighten them all by feel. Okay, so I always start all the bolts by hand. Right now I'm just going to put these brackets back, make sure everything lines up, get everything started before you tighten anything down, or else you'll tighten it down at a weird angle, and it'll be hard to do to get anything to go in after that. So, and just pay attention to the size of bolts when you take them out. These ones are all the same size, but for example, the ones on the battery itself holding it to the chassis, one of them was a different length, so you just need to make note of that when you're taking everything out. Okay, again, I'll come back by hand, make sure everything's tight. And if you don't have a good feel, then use a torque wrench. Yeah, that's my suggestion, just use a torque wrench if you don't have a good feel. I think I've seen people rebuild these. In fact, I think Chris Fix rebuilt one. I don't know if the video is still up. I'm assuming it is. But I don't feel comfortable enough taking the actual batteries apart. And I recommend just getting a whole assembly like this. Because from what I remember in his video, he said it cost, I believe this cost the exact same. So, but you'll just have to check. It depends on what month it was manufactured and the year and what model vehicle it is. They'll be just a little different. So, again, you may not be watching this for a tutorial. If you do it at your own risk. And if you noticed, you had a really good eye that I didn't put these connectors back on. So we will do that real quick. I just took this back apart. This is one of those things, there's really nothing you can do about it. Just don't get stressed. It takes all of 2 minutes to take that cover back off and plug the connectors in. There's no fast way or cheap way to do it quickly, so just don't get stressed. Stick them back in. You want to make sure the battery's completely disconnected before you mess with any of this stuff, which it still is. I've left the tape over the main connector as well. So okay, there we go. Those are reconnected. We'll stick them back together. That's the thing too, if you let stuff like that get under your skin, like you missed a step, now you're wasting your time going back and redoing it. You get flustered, you start to make mistakes in the future, you stop paying attention, and so it is best to just relax, know there's you know, you're doing it right, and just don't get stressed about it. All right, there we are. Battery brackets back on, everything's tightened down. We'll get this cooling vent up on top. And finally, it's not super hot today. I mean, it's overcast, which is rare. I think the high is like 80 degrees, which is a welcome change. So normally it's been like 100, just burning up, GoPro overheating. So feels good. And we're putting everything back together, so we're almost done. All right, nice and easy there. I'll go ahead and put the seats back on. Or let's put these side wells. Side is on first. And then with these, just make sure you get the seat belt and everything running back through its correct little hole. I think I'll be taking that back off if you don't. Okay, we're good here. We'll go ahead and put these seat bottoms back on. Okay, so we've got 3 of these clips. They tend to break when you pull them off. So this one's fine. I'm gonna replace the other 2 that did break, and rather than grab the half broken ones off the other side. And then this Velcros to the back of that seat and snaps on top of the battery here. Okay, there's all my bolts. We'll go ahead and get the rest of these little pieces back in. Okay, we'll go ahead now and put the safety back in before I put this pan in. And then that battery will be hooked up, then we'll hook up the 12 volt. Okay, that battery's connected. I'll put this 12 volt connector back in. There's that. That's why it felt so weird. Gotta put the cover on that first. Okay, a few pieces of grass on there I'll clean up for them. That's better than oil. Okay, mentally I'll just go through my checklist and triple check everything. Make sure that everything's back in place. In my mind, I've got all my bolts. I don't have any leftover plastic pieces. I'll show you here. There's just these couple of things that came out. This little CD case, they were in the back. So those will go there. This little sunshade. There's that. Here's the old battery. Make sure these seats go back up right. Get the seat belts in their place. Okay, check that other seat belt. All right, that looks good. Everything looks great. We will go ahead and mark this up as a job well done. This is the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest. Thanks for watching. Consider becoming a channel member. Check out the merchandise down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. So here we are. Here's the battery light in question that was on. I didn't show you when it was on, but now it's not there. So it's a job well done.